Brussels is preparing for a hard Brexit by churning out a host of new laws. Many of the laws will give the bloc increased powers ahead of Britain's exit from the EU on March 29, 2019. But it also suggests that the EU believes that the UK is extremely likely to leave with no deal. Brussels has drafted 30 to 40 proposals to amend laws and give special powers to regulators just in case there is no deal in 2019. The measures cover a wide array of issues from trade quotas to the rules for the financial services industry. EU officials claim that the proposals are only meant to ensure smooth transition for financial organisations and other sectors set to be affected by Brexit. An EU diplomat told the Financial Times, "This is all inevitable and necessary. Most of the work of preparing for Brexit is for governments and the private sector. But there are issues with EU law that we have to sort out." But the secret laws come after Britain and the EU agreed on March 19 to a transition period of 21 months to give time for talks on future trade ties. The deal was supposed to ease concerns about a hard Brexit, but must still be approved by Parliament in a vote expected later this year. Yet, as the EU makes its preparations, new figures show that the number of finance jobs to be shifted out of Britain or created overseas by March 2019 due to Brexit has dropped by half compared to 6 months ago to 5,000 roles. Due to the new measures suggest the EU believes the UK will likely leave Europe with no deal despite talks. Firms employing the bulk of UK-based workers in international finance told Reuters that the mass confusion predicted under Project FIA had been exaggerated. Several banks said they had now significantly scaled back their estimates on a loss of staff to Europe. Deutsche Bank, which had originally planned to move up to 4,000 staff from London, will now shift less than 200 jobs. UBS plans to move 200 staff to Frankfurt from London after previously indicating as many as 1,500 jobs would move. Goldman Sachs, which had considered moving about 1,000 people, now expects to move fewer than 500. A new poll suggests that banks will not move as much staff as first thought out of the UK to Europe. Some banks lowered the estimates for jobs they need to move as they consider more carefully how much of their operations they will need in the European Union if Britain loses access to the bloc single market. The banks had been assured by British Prime Minister Theresa May's government on progress in talks with the EU. The findings suggest London will comfortably remain Europe's largest financial centre, at least in the short term. Peter Han, a professor of banking at the London Institute of Banking and Finance said, "The idea of London's demise was overdone, because it will retain most of the advantages that made it a great financial centre."
Thanks you for watching. Please subscribe News2U channel. Goodbye and see you again.